When you started your business, did you say, hey, I want to work 80 hours a week, make less than $100 an hour, not have any time for my family, no lifestyle at all, and be stuck doing personalized, cold, outbound prospecting and messaging? If so, this video is not for you. Hey, what's up? I'm Ray Green, former executive turned nomad entrepreneur, and today I'm going to talk through how you can design a business to get you to the revenue levels that you want to be without burning out. So I came across a post recently on social media, and it was from somebody who helps consultants get more clients. And it was a chart. And the chart essentially said, to get to your first 10K, here's what you need to do. And to get to your 20K and to get to your 30K. And to get to your first 10K, what they had was gotta work 60 to 80 hours a week. 80% of your time is gonna be on prospecting, on sales and prospecting. 12% of your time is gonna be on delivery, and 2% of your time is gonna be on things like content. All right, and then to get to your 20K, it said 60 to 80 hours still required. 60% of your time is on delivery, and 30% of that time is going to be on prospecting. 10% of your time is now going to be on content. And then to get to 30K, 60 to 80 hours still, and 20% of your time is now going to be on prospecting. 20% of your time is going to be on systems, 15% content, and 5% website stuff, right? Like website logos, things like that. When I look at this chart, the thing that stands out to me is you're working 60 to 80 hours no matter what. At 10K, at 20K, at 30K, how you're allocating your time changes a little bit as you're going. But at the end of the day, to get to 30K a month, you're still at 60 to 80 hours. You're still only doing about 40% of that is client work. And you're just now starting to focus on things like system and really taking content seriously. Now, the first question you want to ask is it true? Is it accurate? Will it work? Yes. If you were putting in 80 hours a week, and almost all of that time is on prospecting and finding new clients, you're bound to find a client or two. So I'm not necessarily disputing the accuracy of this, but what I want to challenge you to do is step back and say, is this the business that I actually want to build, right? When you look at this chart and you say, I'm going to get to 30K, I'm going to be working 80 hours, 40% of my time is still going to be on outbound prospecting and selling, and only a portion of that's going to client delivery, and I'm just now starting to build systems. Is that the business that you really want to build? Right? At 10K a month in revenue, if you were working 80 hours a week, you were making $30 an hour. That's okay.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
if I know that the time that I'm investing today is leverage to get me to a significantly higher number later. But fast forward, you do all of that work, that gets you to 30K at 80 hours a week and $30,000 a month, you're making less than $100 an hour. And you're still doing outbound stuff. And you're just now at that point, according to this chart, you're just starting to look at things that are going to give you real leverage, like content and like systems. With this formula, you're effectively building a treadmill. You were saying, I'm going to do a lot of personalized outbound prospecting to go get clients. And that's the only client acquisition system that I have. When I get the clients, I have to do the delivery, but I have to keep the prospecting going in order to make sure that when this client goes away, I've got an ability to go get more clients. You start doing that, you get up to $30,000 a month. I've been here, and now you've got a lot of prospecting, you've got a lot of client delivery, and the reality is the time that you're going to allocate to building a content system, to building other types of systems is going to get diminished, and that is going to be the work, the important but not urgent work. That's going to be the stuff that gets tabled, that you never really get to. I see it all the time. Half of the clients that we work with aren't coming to us because they can't find clients. They're coming to us because they have work, and they are completely overwhelmed. They are stuck on a treadmill because that's what they've built. They have built a system that effectively says, I've got to do all of this strenuous activity to go get people. And then what I'm selling creates more strenuous activity to deliver the work. And now they don't have the time to create the systems. If that's what the finish line looked like for me, I'd probably just go get a job as a consultant. Yeah, they work a lot of hours, but hell, they're making about the same amount of money, and at least they've got benefits. Or I'd go get a sales job. Right? Go get a great sales job that you can make 200, 300K a year and you keep your weekends. Yes, you can get to 10, 20, 30K a month with that system. But is that the only way to get there?
Nope.
Every business is perfectly designed to get the results that it's currently getting. So when you look at this chart and you look at those outcomes, you say that activity drives that output, right? Those inputs drive that output. But there are other ways to get there. But what would it look like if you made different choices? Right? If the inputs that you put into your system gave you dramatically different outputs, are there ways to create leverage? The inputs that I'm doing today make it exponentially easier tomorrow. Hard work now but significantly easier work later. So that when you get to the next level or the next level, you're not continuing to put in 60, 80, 90 hours a week. That's not why you built this business, is it? Most people I talk to, no. Content is a great source of leverage because it's a way of talking to many people at one time. I can create one post and I can talk to tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people at any given time. Things like social media posts, things like creating a landing page that I can send people to that has a very specific, very dialed in message about the problem and the pain points. Things like a video sales letter that I can record one time and send people to and have them review things and understand who I am, what I do, and how I might be able to help them. Content is an excellent source of leverage, right? Depending on where you're posting, this video, as an example, could be seen weeks later, months later, even years later by somebody, and I created it one time. That is a really great way to leverage my time. Does it work? I drove $30,000 a month as an independent consultant and a fractional executive and a coach with content alone. I did not make one outbound request in my business until after I had exceeded $30,000 a month. And I did it primarily with content. A client of ours in Repeatable Revenue launched his video sales letter on LinkedIn for his high-ticket consulting business. What happened? He got 416 engagements. His post got 906 comments. It was shared multiple times. He got over 40,000 views. One post, 40,000 views. He got so much traffic in one day that LinkedIn told him he couldn't do any more connections. Like he wasn't able to message all of the people that had requested the marketing information that he put out. And this was to announce his offer. This was to launch his program and launch his service. It was a marketing message. And that's how much it got. Imagine that with one post, 40,000, I'm sure it's much more now, but 40,000 at the time of this recording, people saw that, hundreds of people engaged, and he got hundreds of leads as a result. Guess what? Mike has 3,000 followers. So you don't need an audience of hundreds of thousands or millions of people to make content work for you. What you need is good content. You need a strategy. You need to lay a good foundation. You need to have your messaging dialed in. It's not just a post and pray strategy that we're talking about. Like when I was doing content and I leveraged content largely off of LinkedIn to get a lot of my clients, I wasn't just posting and sitting there waiting, right? I would post, I would talk to people that sent me inbound connection requests. I would send people notes that had engaged in my content, said, thanks for engaging. Look forward to seeing you in the threads. I would start conversations with people that stopped by and viewed my profile. I would start conversations. I would find really good ways to harvest all of the attention and the awareness and the audience that I was building. It wasn't just post and pray. That's how I drove $30,000 a month. Also, that content now is there as a foundation so that when future marketing goes out or later we turn on prospecting, people go back and there are hundreds and thousands of posts that people can scroll through that help boost my credibility, boost my authority, right? That's how that works. Another way that you can find leverage in your business is using systems with content. Like there are ways that you can automate a portion of your prospecting and essentially turn your prospecting from one-to-one, personalized, outbound, daily grind type of stuff to flip a switch and use some automation to at least start conversations. And I'm not saying spam people. I'm not saying pitch slap them as soon as you connect with them on LinkedIn or as soon as you friend them on Facebook. Like I'm not talking about being spammy about it, but I am talking about being really targeted with it. Like that's what another one of our clients did, Paul. Paul went, we helped him build a really smart list, like very targeted, knew his avatar. We got that thing dialed in. We automated the first message that starts the conversations. Paul took over, started conversating with the guy. That guy went over to Paul's video sales letter, piece of content. He went over to read his newsletter, another piece of content. Then he booked a call. Then he wired money without having to sit there and do manual, outbound, personalized prospecting. We are letting the system that we design do the heavy lifting and create some leverage for us and for our time. Now, I really could go on and on and on about leverage. This is a huge part of my philosophy, right? Like I'm always looking for better ways to leverage my time. We're talking about building other systems. We're talking about hiring people, like labor as a source of leverage. When you look at that chart of outbound prospecting, could you also hire a commission-only appointment setter to do a lot of that for you? That's a source of leverage. Could you productize your service so that the delivery portion of your time gets condensed and you get more efficient with whatever it is you're selling? There are ways to do this all over the place. You can use any of these sources of leverage. Like I'm a fan of all of them. The right tactic follows the right strategy. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not here to necessarily criticize one tactic, right? And I'm not saying that there's only one other way to do this. What I'm saying is there are lots of ways to do this. And what I want to challenge you to do is think, is what I'm doing today going to A, give me the business that I really want tomorrow? right? Or am I building a treadmill where the thing that I'm doing today is going to keep me or trap me into staying in the system? I see it all the time. And if you want 80-hour weeks, if you want 80-hour weeks with less than $100 an hour, if you want to be doing 60 hours a month prospecting and doing outbound personalized messaging and trying to get clients, well, then one-to-one outbound personalized prospecting is probably the best way to get there, which is also going to lead to juggling, the amount of prospecting that you've got to do, and then the clients coming in the door, and then you're on this weird roller coaster. If that's not what you want, then I would start thinking about, how do I get the results that I want later, right? What do I need to be doing today to get the business that I want tomorrow? Every business is perfectly designed to get the results that it's getting. Are you building the one that you want? And that's what I really wanted to challenge you with today, is to step back, look at the tactics, see if it fits the strategy and get you where you want to be tomorrow. If it's not, then evaluate what you're doing today and say, how can I create more sources of leverage so that I can have the business, lifestyle, schedule, money, whatever it is that I want later. All right. I really hope this has been helpful in some way. I know the grind as well as anyone when you are just getting started and trying to get clients and trying to figure out the best way to get there and willing to do everything that it takes to get clients. But I really do encourage you to take a step back and look at it and go, is this going to get me what I want tomorrow? Just remember, every business is perfectly designed to get the results that it's getting. And I hope this has been helpful in some way to think about what you're doing today, what you want to get tomorrow, and whether you're building the business that you really want, and how you might find some sources of leverage to better help you get there. If this has been helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos. And speaking of leverage and productizing, you may actually want to check out some of these videos on how you can get started.